having that international break going into the Saturday, Tuesday, and the return of Nathan Thompson to the squad now. What difference do you think it's going to make to have him back?
It gives us a little bit of leadership. He gives us that natural depth in the back three, and we don't look as vulnerable to long balls over the top when Nathan plays. But like I said on Saturday, we have three 19-year-old boys playing at the back, and they are going to make mistakes. So Nathan coming back is a positive, but on reflection and looking back at the game, we played well Saturday. We played some brilliant football, created an awful lot of chances, and it's a game we should have won, but we can't lose sight of the fact that we played well again.
You talk about having three 19-year-olds at the back. Nathan's in his early 20s. It says a lot about him as a person, doesn't it? I know we've spoken about this before, that he's coming back and you look to him for leadership, because you could easily say he's 28 and people will believe you.
Definitely, I agree. He's got that experience of playing a lot of games as well. You know, whereas the others, you know, Jack's not played probably 20 games yet. Jordan's not played 20 games yet, and Louis as a midfield player. So him coming back in, like I say, gives us that little bit more know-how, and it shows that he needs to spend more time on the pitch and less time sat in the stand.
Have you chatted to him about that?
Yeah, it's one of them, when you look at his bookings, they're not where he's going to hurt people or they're for violent conduct. It's him caring and trying to make sure that we don't concede a goal. Or, I mean, let's be honest, the sending off of Yeovil is a complete joke, isn't it? It's a complete joke, and he should never have been sent off. And even though now he's still on 4 bookings, and 1 more booking he's suspended again.
How do you manage that though? Because like you say, it is because he cares, and it is because he's trying to do the right thing. So you don't want to manage that out of him, do you? So what do you say to him to say, don't get booked?
There's not a lot you can say, because, like I say, the things he's getting booked for are not things where he's trying to 2-foot people or spit at people or dive. They're genuine attempts to play the ball. Maybe he can be a little bit less reckless at times, but if you take it away from him, then I think you take a lot away from the player.
How do you think Jake Reeves got on Saturday, given that it was his full league debut?
Yeah, I thought he did fine. The thing with our, you know, it's unfortunate we've got some really good midfield players. You know, and he'd probably be in most teams regularly in our league, but we've got 3 that we think are on their day probably up there with the best in the league. So he didn't do himself any harm on Saturday. It was a competent performance, and he looks as though he can play in our style of play.